Hello everyone, happy Thursday. Pam Savage here with Young at Heart Creations. We're going to paint another clipboard. We painted this one last week behind me. Got that one all finished and sealed and done, and so many comments on those easy flowers. Thank you for watching. When you come on, hop on and say hello and where you're from. But this is what we're going to do today, and it's just a simple little clipboard from Dollar Tree. And it's even got the little hanger here, but I decided to do this one a little differently. We're going to do a school theme for this one. So I'd already started on it. I just base coated it white, and then with Posca pens. Hi Anita, hello. With Posca pens, after I put about 3 coats of white on it, I took Posca pens and made the lines to make it look like notebook paper. And then I just traced on an apple using graphite paper, and we'll use some graphite paper here in just a little bit again. Let's see what. So we're going to try to do, I've not done one of these, so we're going to try to do a little worm in here, and then we're going to put ABC on there with some wooden letters, and I'm going to show you an easy way to do those. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm trying to get some of my stash done that I haven't worked on in a while, and just need to get them done for the next craft event or next online sale, whatever we're going to do, but trying to get a little bit ahead of the game. All right, so let me get you pulled up over here on my iPad so that I can see your comments. And you guys, I'm up to 1,757 followers now, last time I looked, so it's growing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it so much. Hi, is it Susha? Is that how I'm saying it? And tell me where you're from, Susha. And Janet, hello. Okay, let's make sure I can get my comments over here. Sometimes it takes it a little bit to catch up. We'll give it a few minutes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and point the camera down. If you're just hopping on, be sure and tell me who you are and where you're from. And again, congratulations to Susie Weeks. She won the Happy Mail, I guess, because I had gotten to another 100 followers. So she won that. We'll get that mailed out. Got it all ready to go. And we have been busy, been painting things in our home and getting things ready. We went and got a storage shed this morning, so going to start putting all the excess stuff in it to get the house ready to put on the market. And so we have been busy. Normally I'm on here around 6 o'clock on Thursdays, but we've got so much going on, and I need to get out in the garage and get busy painting on some doors to go back on my craft room doors, because I've just got a curtain up there right now. So I've got lots to do this afternoon. So I thought before I got too busy in that and not have time to do a live, we would just go ahead and do it early. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to bring you down. And again, I've already just base coated white and then used Posca pens and a ruler to measure out my lines on this. Super simple to do that. I'm going to do a big red apple. So I always, most of the time, if I'm going to be doing red, I will use, I'll base coat it in a gray. It just helps that red to cover better. Red is kind of a hard color sometimes to get. And then I've got some letters over here. I've got sticky side up on the tape and got it taped down, and got my letters to do the ABCs on it. And so we'll sponge paint those here in just a little bit as I use the colors. It is a super, super windy day here. And I'm not seeing comments over on my... Okay, I'm going to get out and go back in to see if I can see comments on this, because I want to be sure and see your comments. Sometimes it's just persnickety. So I'm using country red. A lot of times I'll use the Tuscan red, but I thought we'd just go with country red, country apple. It's probably a country apple, so we're going to go with country red. All right, let me try to get you pulled back up over here. It's pulling up. It's just not showing me the comments. There we are. All right, there's Miss Anita. Okay, so I think we're in business. And I'm just going to go just to base coat this apple in. I'm going to use an angle brush. It's a 3/4 inch and it's a plaid. As I was saying, it is incredibly windy here in North Texas. I live about 60 miles north of Dallas in Sherman, Texas, and it is very windy, but it's supposed to get up to the 70s, lower 70s today, so I'm not going to complain about some wind. And then next week is supposed to get down in the 30s. So you just never know what you're going to get when you live in Texas. We always say, if you don't like that weather that we're having right now, just hang around 15 minutes. It'll change. I literally went one day several years back. My grandparents lived about an hour north of us. We left out about midday to go see them, to take the kids to go visit with them a little bit. And it was 78 degrees when we left. We got over there, we visited for, we probably stayed about 3 or 4 hours. And on the way back, it was down in the 20s. That's how fast it changes around here. It was in the 20s and sleeting and snowing. So you just never know. We've gotten, typically our winter is over with, our winter weather is over with by the end of February, maybe the first week of March. But I can remember one April, we got almost 7 inches of snow, which we never get that much snow to begin with, but especially in April. But it was such a pretty snow. That's been a long, long, long time ago. But it's possible. We had tornadoes last week just north of here. Got allergy eyes this morning, or this afternoon. I was going to go live this morning, and we've had construction workers here doing some touch-ups around the house, and it was pretty loud. So I decided I better wait. These clipboards, I got them at Dollar Tree. They were $1.25 each. And I've just painted all kinds of things on them. I've also Mod Podged scrapbook paper on them. And they've held up really well. I just make sure that I seal them. I spray seal them when I finish with some polyurethane, and because you know they're going to be held a lot. So I usually put about 3 coats of the spray sealer on them. And you can also outline it with your red, go around with a little liner brush, and then fill it in if that's easier for you, to help you not get out of the lines. I usually always get out of the lines though, at some point in the project, and have to go in and do some touch up. Okay, we've almost got an apple. It definitely will take a second coat on it. I could probably get away with just the one, but I can see a few little spots there, and when it dries, I know it's going to show. I think all of the paints but one I'm using today will be Deco Art. I saw several of you signed up or did all of the qualifications, things that were required to be eligible for the prize that they're going to choose. They're going to choose a name on the 9th, I believe, and it's that Sweet on You post that's here in my feed. So be sure and do that. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's just to help us grow our businesses with new followers. And the prize is a basket just full of goodies, all kinds of crafts, and let's see, a little bit of something on my brush there. Hi, Tiffany. I am doing great. Busy, busy, busy this morning. Already made a run into town. We had to shut everything down when the plumber was here today to reroute some of our pipes. So I thought, well, I'm just going to get up and do a really early live. And then I thought, wait, I can't use the water. Can't wash my hair. Can't do this. Can't do that. So anyway, I'm earlier than I'm normally on here, but later than I had planned. And I'm sure I'm going to get red on that white notebook paper before this is over with. I did see someone, I'm so sorry, I forgot who it was, that painted a clipboard last week after we finished the live, and she painted the flowers on it, and it turned out so pretty. So if you've painted a clipboard since our last live, let me see them. I love it when y'all take something that we've done together live and then try it yourself. Lots of things I still haven't tried. Some of them I get intimidated by. And it takes me a while to get up the guts to try it. And then I tell myself, hey, it's just paint. All right, that's looking much better on that second coat. And then you can put the teacher name up here across the top or down the side. Hello, Cheryl Disney. What a wonderful last name. The Deco Art Factory is in my town of Stamford, Kentucky. Then you must live close to, let's see, is it Stamford she lives in? Tamara Bennett. I'm sure you know Tamara. Most of you on here follow Tamara. So she lives right by the Deco Art Factory as well. Hi, Heather. Hi, Peggy. And Tamara is, she's gone through and done a tour with them and had a paint day with them with several women that went with her. Okay, I got a little bit of red on that white there. Let me clean that up. There we go. I don't know if y'all can hear the airplane flying over, but it's probably our friend from church. When he flies by our house, he flies really, really low to say hello, and that sounded like him. Okay, I'm gonna put just a little more down here, just to make sure we get coverage. Let that dry just a second. While that's drying, I'm going to take a pouncer, because I'm going to do our letters in the red, yellow, and green, I believe. So I've just got them taped down here, sticky side up, and I'm going to take a pouncer, sponge pouncer, and get some of that red on it and do our red one. So I'm pouncing it on, but then getting most of it off. So we'll do our A in red. So I pounce it on good, and then I just smooth it out. Can't get much easier than that. Okay, I'm just going to drop that one in the water. Let's go ahead and dry this, and we'll get some shading done on it. Oh, Cheryl, you will just absolutely love Tamara. It is Southern Adornments, A-D-O-O-R-N-Ments, Southern Adornments Decor. Tamara Bennett. She's who got me started going live. Gave me the confidence to do it. I've gone to so many of her lives. She's having a big live, huge live event in Sevierville, Tennessee, hometown of Dolly Parton. And she's hoping that Dolly Parton will show up there. All right, let's take just a little bit of black and shade our apple. But let me put this paint back in here. Don't want to waste it. Tamara does door hangers. She goes live usually on Tuesday mornings. She also has a membership called Painters Clubhouse. She's got 2,000 or 3,000 members in that. She just built a couple of years ago, or about a year ago, a big shop out behind their house, and she has a template club. She's just got several different memberships, and they've just got the sweetest family, and she's always got something going on. Once you follow her, it's hard not to follow her. All right, I'm gonna put that towel in my lap, so hopefully I don't get it on my pants. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of black, and I'm gonna switch down to a little bit smaller angle brush. Let me bring you back over here. So this one's a 1/2 inch angle brush. And I'm just going to get it a little bit wet where I want to shade. Just a little bit of water. Dip back in that water. Forgot to get my paint out. And it doesn't take much. Black will overtake everything if you're not careful. So on the toe, I'm just getting a small amount of that black. And let my water dry. And I can dip it back into the water just a little bit. And we're going to Just take a little and we'll work it out. Wipe some of that off. Like I said, that black can really overpower if you're not careful. So I just want to spread it out. Tone that down just a little. Okay, and I got just a little bit outside the lines right there at the bottom, but that'll be an easy fix. We can go back with a little bit of white afterwards and clean that up. And you do not have to add the water this way. You can just put the water on your brush. So I dipped it in the paint, and then I barely dipped the toe of it back in the water and just dotting it on my cloth over here, just to kind of knock a little bit of that water off. Grab a baby wipe before we get those out. You can also spit, yuck, spit on a Q-tip if you get a little bit outside the edges. If you do it fast enough, it should disappear. Okay. And then I just take and put my, I always have a wet cloth, and I just put my baby wipe under there to keep it moist. So there's your tip for the day. Put your baby wipe under a wet cloth to keep it moist while you're working on your project. Make sure I don't have any on my hand. Tamara will also have a lot of guest painters that do other things besides door hangers in her club, Painters Clubhouse. So you get a variety of different things. Okay, so we're getting there. Just need to do the bottom. And we'll put some highlights on it too to lighten it up. And a little more paint. And just a touch of water. I can hear the men talking outside the window. I'm upstairs, and they're down in the yard working on things. around the house, so you may hear them talking. Okay. I think that's all we need on that. Let's draw that and go ahead and get our little worm drawn on there, and then we can be doing our leaf and our little stem. I'm going to go ahead and do our letter B with this yellow, and then that's probably all we're going to use the yellow for. Okay, so I've got another sponge pouncer. This one's a little bit bigger, but it's okay. Make sure get it on there good, and then pounce most of it off. And we'll do our letter B. So I'm just pouncing, 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 and then smoothing it out. And we're done with that color. Next color, and I forgot to get like a schoolhouse green out. Let me grab one over here right quick. This is actually Ceram Coat, and it's Christmas green, but we'll use that. Go ahead and do it. That way our letters will be good and dry when we're ready for them. So get some green on there. And then get it off. And smooth it down. Okay, so our letters are done. A, B, C. And we'll decide where we want to place them on there. Okay, so for our little worm, oops, I've got him traced out on some tracing paper. So I'm going to decide where I want to put him. Let's see, A, B. I think we'll put him right about, I'm not going to do all of them. We'll do this one. We'll stop here at this one. So I'm going to tape it down so it doesn't move on me. Just a couple of little pieces of tape. So he's on tracing paper. So you can just see right through it. And that makes it so nice. If you have to lay your pattern back on what you've just painted, you can get it exactly on there. And then I've got graphite paper, carbon paper, graphite paper, whatever you want to call it. Comes in all different colors and different sizes. You can use a dull pencil, a pen. I'm going to use my stylus. I'm going to use the just the smaller end of it, and we'll go over it. Now you want to be careful and not rub your hands across it, because it'll go off on the piece that you're using. Okay, so let's start up here at his antennas, and I think I'm just going to dot those. So I'm not going to draw the circles. Okay, and then we want to go now. I want to make sure that it's going through. Yes, it is. I'm not going to draw the details on there yet. Okay. Now you can also use white or gray graphite and would show up, it would show up nicely on this red. This is just what I had out. You may not be able to see it. Let me see if you can see the lines. But it gave me just enough of the pattern on there that I can see where my colors need to go. Okay, so I think I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and give him a base coat of, just a little base coat of white, because we're going to put a lighter green over him. Let's see what brush I want to use for that. Let's go with a round brush. See if that works. If it doesn't, then we will switch to an angle brush. Let's start down here so that I'm not rubbing my hand across it. I'll just kind of get it lined in there, and then we can fill it in. I have one lady in particular that every year she orders 3 to 4 door hangers for teachers. Sometimes she wants them double-sided, sometimes not. Okay, that brush is not doing it for me. It's splitting really bad. So we're going to put it aside. Let me get a little bit better round. I've got brand new brushes still in packages that I need to replace some of these with, and I just haven't done it yet. And that's one of them. There we go, much better. Point. Okay, let's get the head. Hello, Miss Marie. Okay, can y'all see now? I know I had it out of camera a while ago. We are having a great day. Here in Texas, North Texas anyway, weather's gorgeous. Windy, but gorgeous. Okay, now let's take a small little angle brush and we can fill it in. And again, this is just a little base coat of this white, so we'll go back over it in the green. Just help that green pop a little better when we get it on there. They always look so yucky in the beginning until you get all the details, everything covered. So that old saying, just trust the process, so far has always been true. Somebody was live this morning and they said it was snowing like crazy there, so I don't know where she was. from the sounds of her accent, I was guessing Minnesota or Canada maybe. I still wouldn't mind one pretty snow. We have not had a pretty snow. I like one, just so you feel like you've had winter. But then I'm done. Could not live up north. Not me. I'm a wimp. I'm one of those, I love the snow when it's 70 degrees. All right, let's dry that and decide what green we're going to use. I think we'll use the Hauser Light Green, and then we can do some shading on him. And before my black dries, let's put a little indentation here. Make it look like he's down in the apple. All right, let's try this green and see what we get. See if we like it. Thank you, Miss Tiffany. While you work on a sign for the office. Yay! Miss Marie. Hi, Susie. Windy in Northwest Arkansas. Yeah, it's bringing in a yucky cold front for us next week. All right, so let's try. Sorry, Peggy, that I had it out of camera a minute ago. And I'm just going to paint right over all of it, and then we'll detail him out. Oops, I'm sorry. I turn my pieces a lot, y'all. So if you need to take some Dramamine, is that what it's called? Before you watch my lives, that is fine with me. You won't hurt my feelings. You can do these really cute, have them holding a book, have them with glasses on, several different ways that you can paint them out. We're going kind of simple today. Sometimes less is more. I didn't paint anything Valentine-y. I think I painted one thing last year. Okay, that's a pretty green for the worm, I think, especially by the time we shade him out. He's getting there. Let's dry and get him ready for a second coat. You guys that have followed me forever, you know that our youngest grandchild, we call him Jack Jack or Baby Jack. He is going to be 2 years old in June. 2 years old already, and he is like a 99th percentile in everything. He is so tall. Tall enough that all of a sudden this last week, he walks into the living room, which is connected to their kitchen. He walks in handing the loaves of bread that were on the kitchen counter. He reached up and got the stuff off the kitchen counter. That is how tall the little stinker's getting. He'll be 19 months old this month, and when you put him up to another child that's the same age, or some of them even older than him, he just towers over them. They bought him new shoes not too long ago, and he's already outgrown them. He has got the sweetest personality. I mean, he just goes with the flow no matter what's going on. Super playful. Tell him it's nap time, and he just comes and lays down for you to put his little sleeping, they call it a sleep sack. I think it's what all the kids that use them call them. We've started taking him to the park on pretty days. And he's just learning how to climb. He's not afraid of anything, and he doesn't know not to just step right off of the top of it. He looks like he should know because he looks like he's 3 years old, but he's not. But we took him to the park this Tuesday, and there were probably 15 to 18 children there, and they were all girls. He was the only little boy there. And it was so cute to see them all interacting with him. His favorite show of all, and I think it's mine too, is Bluey. So if you have not watched Bluey, it's a little animated show, and it's got it's all about the mama dog and the daddy dog and 2 little girl dogs. All kinds of good little family values, and they're super popular right now. Everything is about Bluey. And the dad that does the voice for the dad dog, I saw him on a talk show the other day, and he said, you know, I'm just getting paid for what I do at home. This is how our home life always is. And this is the way I always do with my kids. And anyway, it is, Mr. David loves it. They have Australian accents, and their little laughs are so cute, and so many funny little parts in it. Well, Jack has got to where he knows when it's funny at a funny part, and he'll laugh at it. It's just so cute and innocent. They need more shows like that. All right, let's see. One more coat should do it. Hi, Miss Becca. Nothing better than grandbabies. You are right. He is going to be tall. I know. It seems like just yesterday when we announced he was going to be born. It was just about a month before the Tamra's Dallas event, live event. And I was one of the presenters, and I was so afraid that she was going to go over and I was going to have to miss the live because I was not going to miss my grandbaby's birth. So I told Tamara in the beginning, I said, okay, yes, I will be happy to be a presenter. Would love it. But just know that you might have to take over in the middle of it if I have a grandbaby coming. But it all worked out. Okay, this coat's going to get it. Alrighty, I think that'll do it for that. And let's go ahead and let's shade him out with some Hauser medium green. Let's see what that does for us. Just to separate his sections here. It's getting a little damp. And you could go even darker. You could use that Hauser dark green. But I think this will be enough. And a little more moisture. Okay, look at the difference with the shading and without. I think shading is, and highlighting, it's actually called floating. And I'll probably tell you this every time I paint, but the technique is floating. And it's shading if your color is darker than what your base coat color is. If you're floating with a darker color, then it's shading. And if you're floating with a lighter color, then you're highlighting. Okay, and you want to let it dry before you have to go over it again, or it'll just wipe off what you just did. All right, let's get his tummy part done, I guess you would call it, and separate them. We are on a time crunch with all the stuff we're trying to get done, finished up with the house to get it ready for market. The photographer's coming next week, the end of next week, to get pictures to list it, so it's getting real. And do we know where we're going yet? No. Well, still in the same area, but we don't have a house yet, so should be interesting. I may need to come with somebody on here, come live with somebody on here for a few weeks till we find something. Anybody got rental space? I have never done a spring craft show. They've always been Christmas ones. So I don't really know how the spring ones do versus the Christmas ones. Okay, the bottom one is not shaded yet, so you can definitely see the difference there. As soon as I get the doors painted this afternoon, it'll probably be a most of the night job. But I'm going to go through my craft room here and see if there's anything I can box up that I won't need for the next 2 to 3 months. But you know what will happen? As soon as I get it boxed up, something's going to happen that I'll need it. Okay, so we've got him done. And I'm going to take a little liner brush. And while my black is still wet, I'm going to do his little antennas. They're tiny, so I know you can't see them. Add a little water. Black had kind of dried out. Going right down over into the head. And then we'll do a little dip. Okay, so just that little swoop line right there at the end makes it look like it's going into his head or coming out of his head. Okay, and let's do the next one. I can just barely see it on here with that graphite paper. I've got something so cute picked out to paint at the next live paint party, and I'm looking at a couple of different dates on it. So I've got to get with the restaurant here in Sherman and make sure those dates are good for them. So I'm really excited about it. Okay, and I want to shade a little more black. Right down here where he's going into the apple. I want to go over his body a little bit. Okay, so there's what we've got so far. I could make the dots on his antennae, could do them yellow to pull in some yellow from the ABCs. We'll think about that one. But I am going to take a little scruffy brush here. It's a makeup brush from Dollar Tree. It's Wet n Wild, and it's great for dry brushing. And I'm going to take a little bit of Anita's Lime and kind of highlight a little bit in the centers here. Not much. Okay, I'm going to get it on there, really work it down in the bristles, no water on it, completely dry. And I'm going to get it off on my hand until it's not cold anymore. And that means you've got it just about right. And that's a little bit too much still. Okay, and that just gives him a little bit of a glow. All right, I'm going to drop that in the water so it can be soaking. Okay, I'm going to let that sit, and let's go ahead and do the stem. All right, let's do, since I've already got some green out, let's go ahead and do the leaf. Just going to go back to that angle brush, and I'm going to do the Hauser medium green to base coat it in. And it'll take a couple of coats or more to get it nice and covered. Okay, just kind of outlining it and then just fill it in. Okay, let's dry that and put another coat on there. You looking cute though. I worked in the school system for 7 years. Hi, Linda. Craft room last. I know. Hi, Jean. But I need to get it cleared out a little bit to show the house for open house. And so I'm going to try to go through and mark it really well and put it towards the front of the storage unit so that if I do have to have it, I can get to it easy. Now, doing the leaf in this color brings out the shading in on the worm. Okay, I'm going to do at least one more coat, maybe a couple. We'll see. I want it to really cover. I make it look so easy. Well, I've got a pile of things that need some fixing and doing, so, and I've been doing it for about 37, 38 years. So that definitely makes a difference. And I still learn something all the time from somebody else. I never get tired of watching other painters paint and see how they do things. Get the same result, but do it in a total different way. I'm looking at this pattern now, and I think if I redid it, I would do it a little differently than what the pattern had. These are a few things I've just kind of piecemealed together, but I would make the leaf coming out from the apple itself and going up. So you might want to think about that if you do this. Okay, let me look at it. It's kind of hard for me to see sometimes with these lights. This ring light, and got another light overhead too. Okay, let's do some shading and highlighting on it. I'm going to go with the Hauser dark green. So you've got the Hauser light, Hauser dark, and Hauser medium. Perfect for grasses, leaves, any kind of foliage. They just work so well together for your base, your highlighting, and your shading. But I think I may shade with this lime. I mean, highlight with the lime. We'll see how it goes, what it looks like. So let's do our shading. A little bit of moisture on there. And let's do that in the dark. And such a tiny little spot. It's not going to take much to do it. So just that little bitty dot there should do it. And I also need to separate my brushes. Pick out some favorite shaders that are not worn out now and keep them in a separate spot and not use them for anything else other than shading and highlighting. Okay, so I'm just working that green in, that dark green. Just walking it out a little further. Okay. Now let's do some of that. Let's try the lime. I've still got some of that lime out, so let's just try that. You could also dry brush it with the highlighter, with a lighter color to highlight. Need a little more moisture. So I'm just barely tipping my brush into that water. Well, the sunshine is gone and the wind is blowing so hard. Trees are going crazy out there. Okay, let's dry that, and we may add just a little bit more. If you keep trying it while it's wet, if you're just smoothing it out, you can do it when it's, but it will just wipe off what you just did. Put a little more water. This is not the best shading brush at all. Okay. Now let's make a little line for the vein. Start down here at the bottom, and I'm just going to curve up. Right out to that tip. Let's make some little bitty veins coming out. That should be just enough. Okay, and now let's do the stem. I think I'm going to do it in honey brown, and then we'll just add some dark brown to it. And I switched to a round. Squeaky. And once we streak some brown in here, it'll look more like a stem. You know how when you fix meals for a family, especially when you still have children at home, and every week you're trying to think, okay, what am I going to cook for supper tonight? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. I'm running out of ideas. What am I going to cook? We've got to have something. That's kind of how it gets when you're doing lives. You think, okay, what am I going to paint with them this week? I don't want it to be the same thing we did last week. So it's sometimes challenging to come up with something, because we want to do something that you're going to like, and that you something maybe new for you, but so sometimes it gets that way. Thank you, Anita. Vicki, I wish I was painting. I spend most of my Christmas with quilting little gifts. I have a never-ending pile of scraps. Going through the cutting usable squares for future projects I haven't painted. Ooh! Well, with all those scraps, you can Mod Podge. You'll have to go way back. I don't know. It's a couple of years ago. I Mod Podged on wood. I Mod Podged a chicken, 2 chickens actually. I Mod Podged a wooden Christmas tree. So there are a lot of things you can do with those scraps. I have some too. I don't sew. I mean, I can make curtains, and I did make my daughter some little dresses and things when she was small, but I can sew buttons back on if they come off and things like that, but I am definitely not a seamstress. But give me some material and some Mod Podge, and I can figure out something to do with it. Okay, now I'm going to use some dark chocolate. Going to get some on the tip of that brush. And then I'm going to just streak some down. I'm getting most of that paint off. I don't have much on at all. And just streak different in different spots. I'm going to make it really dark right down here at the bottom. And let's put just a little touch of white. Oh, there you go. Okay, and while I've got white on my brush, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a highlight on the leaf. Just with that white. And then I want to do a little bit on the worm. Just curving it with his body. Okay, so there's what we've got. Let's see, what time are we running? Oh, and you know what? That red's not going to show up on that red, so I'm going to change this to blue. Let me grab a blue. Pretty looking blue. I'm going to use Apple Barrel. You see that red, I wasn't even thinking about that. That A just does not show up. Now the B and the C do. They show up, but that does not. So let's get some blue on him. I think this Apple Barrel Deep Navy, I think we'll go good with that. So let's put him back on there. A little stringy. Get that on that. Now I'm using a different sponge dauber for each color. Okay, and we're going to go back over here. And smooth it out. Okay, that shows up much, much better. Not sure how I'll place them yet. But just to give you an idea. That cute? And then the teacher's name could go straight across or diagonal. Probably put something that looks like a couple of the paper holes here. Can do that. Let's see if we can get a little face on him. Okay, I'm going to make sure everything's good and dry. because I want to lay my paper back over. Now, if I had just regular paper, so if I was going to do it like this, now this is one I looked at online. I won't be doing it exactly like this one, but say I was going to lay it back over here. Well, I can't figure out, I'm trying to get it exactly like it needs to go, but I have to keep lifting it because I can't see underneath this regular computer paper. But when you put it on the tracing paper that is see-through, so you can see my hand through it, then I can see exactly where it needs to go. Exactly where it needs to be placed. Tape it down a little bit. See if I can steal this piece of tape. Okay, so it's exactly where it needs to be, right on the lines. So tracing paper, you can get this, I think Dollar Tree has it, Walmart has it, Amazon has it. You can order it from them. And then I'm going to take my graphite paper. You want to make sure you've got the right side down that's going to transfer. So I'm going to put it right back up here over his little face. And I'm just going to use my pencil. I think we'll shade under that. Mouth. Okay, put that out of the way. And now I've got his little face right where it needs to go. You can barely see it, but I can see it really well. Okay, so we want his eyes to be black. Or you could do blue, it doesn't matter. You could do any color eyes you want. So I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm using my 10-0 little liner brush. I'll just fill him in. My black's getting a little dry on my palette here. Add a little bit of water to it, it'll go better. Much better. Okay, and then we'll do underneath the eye white. Once you get the eyes on, they'll start coming to life. Anybody else watching while you're working? It's nice to have a job that you can do that. Okay, so he's starting to have a personality. Okay, I'm going to dry the black and put some white in. Tracing paper is wonderful. Guilty. Susie's watching while she works. Okay, let's get some of that white. Oh, I've still got it out here. Y'all notice I hold my brushes on the ferrule 99.9% of the time. A lot of people paint with their hands up here, and I've tried that. It just does not work for me. I have to hold it like a pencil. So just practice, and whatever works for you. If you can do it holding it up some, that is perfectly fine. For me, I have more control over it the closer down that I hold it. It's just all kind of trial and error. Just practice on paper, cardboard, anything. If you're new, just to kind of get the feel of what works best for you. Kind of clean that up a little bit. Okay, let's give him some eyebrows. And a little nose. I am just like a kid at Christmas. When you get the face on, I get so excited because that's when they're real to me. And they have their own little personality, and it's like, hello. Okay, let me take my little stylus. See what I did with it. I may put it back over here. Yeah. Then let's float a little bit of dark green for his cheeks. And then we can dry brush some pink in there. Okay, I'm going to use that medium Hauser, and I've got a tiny little flat brush. It's a number 2 with Velvet Touch. water in it. And I might have to go over it twice to get it as dark as I want it. I don't want it as dark as the dark green. Look at that little cutie. We can put a little bit of that green under his nose. And under his mouth. I think I might want to dry brush a little bit of pink. And let's give him I'm going to do white first, but let's give him a little tongue. Now you're getting into the little bitty details, but I think they make such a difference. So I'm going to give him just a tiny little tongue. Then we'll do some red. We'll just go in with that red that we base coated with, that country red. A little dot. I used white since it is such a small spot, but if I were doing something larger, just like I did the apple, I would do gray underneath it, underneath that red. One more little coat. Now I left some of the mouth showing underneath, so it looks like the tongue is back in the mouth and not sitting out on front of it. And I'm going to do just a tiny, tiny little highlight. And get that focused for you. I think we'll do some eyelashes. I'm not going to do a ton of eyelashes, but just a few here. Okay, there we go. Now I want to do a highlight on the apple as well. So let's see if we can get... Trying to get a color that you would probably have. This is Gypsy Rose by Ceramcoat, which is comparable to, I'm not sure, maybe a light coral. I'm going to put a little bit down and see if I like it as a highlight. I'm not sure. I'm going to get another one of those makeup brushes. This one's a little bit longer, but I think it'll work okay. So I'm going to work it in there. Get most of it off. Okay, let's do a little bit of a highlight here. Just doing little circular motions. Now the letters will cover most of that up, but you can still see it in between them. Very subtle. Okay, I think that's good enough on that. Now, I always seal mine first with the letters off to the side. I'll spray this separate and spray the letters. Then I apply the letters onto it. Still got to do the holes here. I'll do 2 holes. And then I don't know what teacher name. I'll just put on here your name here, or something like that. Still need to do the little dots on his antenna. All right, what do y'all think about the dots? Do they need to be yellow like this just to give him some more color, or should they be black? What do you think? Hi, Sheila. Thank you, Susie. Hello, Miss Roxy. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome. Welcome to everybody. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so thankful you're here. It's never a bad day to paint. Yellow's what I'm thinking. What do y'all think? I think yellow is what I'm going to go with. The more I look at it, I just really, really like the yellow. Let's see if we have any yellows. Oh, Peggy says black. Susie says yellow. I tell you what, let's try the yellow. And if we don't like the yellow, then we can always go over it once it dries with black. So I'm going to use, see what I want to use to do this with, because I want something big. I could just paint them in, but I'm just gonna dot them. Okay, let's go with the yellow and see what we get. I may put a little yellow in his tummy. Okay, so I'm using the end of one of my larger paint brushes. Okay, I think I like the yellow. And let's put some little yellow dots down here on his bellies. Because he's got more than one belly. just as another little highlight. Okay, now I can take a little bit of that red. You gotta remember, those dots are really wet. Okay, I could do black. I could do that red. I think I'm going to use Rockwood red and go around his little body with it. We'll see if that's dark enough. So let me grab a fresh angle brush here. My water's getting really murky over there. Just to make his little body kind of stand out. And this will dry darker also. Yeah. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, I'm going to go back. This one's dry, so I'm going to go back over it just a little bit. Darken it up. And then I'm going to show you the side with and the side without. Okay, let me dry that. A little bit on that green, so let me just put a little spot there. There we go. Nobody else would have ever seen that, but I knew it was there. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. This side, I have shaded around him. This side, I have not. And I may go over it one more time to darken it up a little bit. You could also do it in black, a dark brown, but it just really makes it look like he's not just flat on the apple, that he's kind of sticking out. Okay, so I'll do that all the way around. And we're getting close to the 2-hour mark, and I know that Mr. FB, which is Facebook, does not like for you to go over 2 hours, so I'll play around with how I want to do the letters. I can do them round like that, or I could do them kind of going different ways. I don't know. Which way do you like the best? Go in different directions or very symmetrical? Curving around. I could bring it in a little bit, but curving it around. So which way? So I'll know if you're a symmetrical person or if you live outside of the box a little bit. And again, I'll paint a couple of holes here on this side and leave it blank for a name. Whoever wants that name, I will spray it in a glossy. Might put a little bit of pink on his cheeks yet. I'll have to kind of walk around and look at it and see how it jumps out at me. Let me lift you back up here. Oh, it's getting hot up here, y'all. Can you tell my cheeks are... We don't have the air running or anything, but it's supposed to get 70-something today, so I think it has gotten out there. Let me see if I can hold it up without the letters falling everywhere. He's going to be cute. Still got a little work to do on him, but I think he's going to be either way to you, curving around. I kind of like the curving around too. I'm a little, or my husband says I'm a little OCD. Always straightening up picture frames in restaurants and things everywhere I go. Whoops, a little too much there. But I'll play around with it and we will see what we end up with. And I'll post a picture when I get him all done. But I think he's cute. Oh, there goes the letters. Might even put a few, an arm, a couple arms here. Not sure, but it's just a plain clipboard, y'all. It was $1.25. These I would sell probably at my craft show for $10 to $12, depending on how much detail that there is in it. If I can get this one. So just to show you the different themes, the different ways that you can do them. Here's the one we did last week, and then totally different this week. And I've got some more that I've got to do. So you may be seeing a lot of clipboards because I've probably got a dozen clipboards under there. But I'll try to paint something different on each one with you. Okay, well that is it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I hope this is just a bunch of circles, y'all. So not hard at all. You can kind of see that highlighting on the apple now with that, what did I say? What color it was? This is Gypsy Rose, and it's Ceramcoat. I've had it for years. I don't know if they still make it, but just something pinkish, rosy color to do the highlighting on that. The highlighting in his bellies I did with lime. I may add a little bit more. I've still got to go around and finish on this side, going around him with the shading. I'm getting text messages. Okay, so that's it for today. Once I finish it, I will post a picture. I don't think it'll be tonight because I've got to go paint chairs and get those done. My hubby can't do his next part until I get my part done on painting doors. And the doors I'm going to be painting, let me see if I can get you around here. See the curtains? That's where a lot of my stuff is stashed. And I've just got curtains so that it would be easy for me to access when I'm doing my lives and needing stuff. So we've got to put the doors back on before we sell it. So that's what I've got to go do. While it's a nice day, it's supposed to start raining, getting really, really cold by next week. So I've got to do it this week. So there's what we did today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We're going to send Cindy's Happy Mail out in the morning. And then I'm not far from doing... Let's see, what was it when I got on here? It was 1,755 or 57 followers. So we're over halfway to doing another Happy Mail. You guys are awesome. Thank you so, so much. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.